Hey there, good evening everybody. Welcome here to What's New on the Prog Monster. My name is Murph and I am the host of this show. The album we're going to be doing tonight is going to be by the Rolling Stones. This is Foreign Tongues. It's still in the package. I have listened to it online. I haven't taken out the package yet because it'll be part of my new albums purchased at the end of the month. But it's looking very Mick Jaggerish here, or Mick Muppet. With those big Muppet lips there. But anyways, pretty solid album overall. I'm going to give you the rundown on it first. So get my notes up here. So this was released July the 10th, 2026. Recorded at the Henson Studio in Los Angeles. So hence the Muppet look, I guess. Metropolis in London, England as well. About 62, closer to 63 minutes in length. Pretty long by my standards. On Universal, Palador, and Capitol Records. Andrew Watt producing this one as well. He did that on the last album. He's doing that again this time. We've got the band, which consists of Mick Jagger, vocals, guitar, harmonica, and percussion. Keith Richards, guitar, vocals, and piano. And Ronnie Wood on guitar, bass, and backing vocals. Also, in addition to that, I'm going to give you the list of additional musicians on this album. There's a lot of people on this album. So you got Steve Jordan on drums and percussion on assortment of tracks. Andrew Watt, electric guitar and background vocals and percussion on an assortment of tracks as well. He also plays some acoustic guitars, some synthesizers, some piano and bass guitar. So he's all over the map, really. Matt Clifford on piano, organ, synthesizer, and Rhodes synthesizer. Rhodes piano, sorry. So he's playing on a few tracks, not as many as the first couple. James King on tenor sax, alto sax, and baritone sax on various tracks throughout the album as well. You got Ben Waters playing piano on the first track. You got Benmont Tench, playing organ and piano on several tracks as well. Daryl Jones on bass on quite a few tracks, most of the stuff towards the back half of the album. You've got Steve Winwood on here playing organ on a multiple amount of tracks, Rhodes piano and normal piano here as well, multiple tracks. Nare Jacobs background vocals on one track. Robert Smith, electric guitar and background vocals and synthesizers on a couple of tracks as well. Rob Blake, trumpet and flugelhorn. This is not the Rob Blake from Beretta, I am assuming. Plays on a couple of tracks as well. Bruno Mars here playing the cowbell on one track. So they brought in the big guy to play the cowbell, eh? Charlie Watts playing drums on two tracks, tracks 8 and 15, which is interesting. You've got Paul McCartney on here again, as he was on the last album, playing bass on a track, and Chad Smith playing the bass drum here on one of the tracks. I believe it's the last track. So that's all the credits and the multitude of them there are. There's a total of 14 tracks in all on this album. So it doesn't sound too dissimilar from their previous studio album incarnation called Hackney Diamonds, which I thought was a fairly strong album, one of the strongest they've produced in many years after a long hiatus. This one I don't think is quite as good as that one, but I might warm up to it. I've only listened to it its entirety just once. But lots of different sounds here too. You've got a lot of kind of bluesy stuff. And when I say bluesy, I don't mean just like rock music with a blues element to it. This is very kind of old school bluesy, kind of raw sounding, almost garage sounding stuff. The vocals are good. I think Mick's voice sounds very Mickish, if you want to call it that. There's one track with Keith Richards doing vocals, kind of a nasally style. You wouldn't confuse it with Mick's voice at all. There are some heavier stuff here too. Tracks that are a little past what I would consider normal heavy for the Stones. They also have quite a bit of commercial sounding stuff. There is a one ballad. There's a couple of other, one that's kind of a country feel to it, really country western feel to it, and some other stuff that's kind of more low key. But we'll get into the breakdown of the tracks overall. So Foreign Tongues is the name of the album, in case I forgot to mention that. So the opening track is called Rough and Twisted. It's about almost 5 minutes in length. Kind of a bluesy guitar riff driven song here. Vocals are loud, murky, with a little bit of an attitude, which is what you want from your Stones music, really. Some of it gets a little bit more heavy. I like the piano and the harmonica sound thrown here towards the back half of it. Really quite good. They use an AI throwback video here as well for this video, where all three of the major members, Ron Wood, Keith Richards, Mick Jagger, all looking like they're in their 30s here doing the song. So obviously it's an AI video, but pretty decent, kind of a fun video. I liked it. Next song up is In the Stars. This is Mick doing his counting part at the beginning. He counts the song down. Then you got some heavy guitar riffing, very raw, catchy parts too as well. Some piano and harmony vocals on this particular track. One of the two best songs on the album, at least thus far for me. Next up is Jealous Lover. This is the beginning of those kind of video displays that they use with people making all kinds of jumping noises like they're dancing and stuff. It's kind of weird. It's just about every song has it though. Jealous Lover, some melodic up-tempo guitar, vocals falsetto, very high-end, kind of a Miss You kind of feel to it. Commercial sounding pop song, and a little bit of bluesy stuff going on here as well. I'm going to put this down because it's getting heavy on the hand. Not one of their better tracks. So the next song is Mr. Charm. I like this one a little bit better. It's about 4.5 minutes in length. Some melodic, bitey, raw guitar sounds. The vocals are raw lead, typical Mick sound here. Backing vocals are deep melodic parts kind of filling in there. It's pretty decent. It's a decent enough track. Next is Divine Intervention, catchy, raw, punky like guitar sound. Vocals are forward, heavy, typical Mick Jagger sound here. Some heavy parts, very 70ish sounding this track. I kind of like that in it too. Next track up is a little over 5 minutes, maybe closer to 5.5 minutes. Ringing Halo is a slow, melodic, twangy kind of country western sound to it. Slide guitar, very prominent. The vocals are twangy, mid, and nasally sounding. Yeah, not too dissimilar from this 1978's Miss You album. Beast of Burden album. Some Girls album, I know I'll get it eventually, where they do the Faraway Eyes. Kind of a little bit of that going on. This one's a little bit better written, though, I think. Anyways, then we move on to the back half of the album. So you've got the next one up, which is called Never Wanna Lose You. This one's about 4.5 minutes in length. Kind of a heavy pop track. Vocals are clear, raw, and smooth. Backing vocals are forward, pretty dominant on this track too. And a nice, catchy, beefy guitar riff. Next song is one of my other favorites on the album, Hit Me in the Head. This is a funny album, pretty song. It's really short too. It's only less than 3 minutes. Probably the shortest track on the album. Nice heavy guitar riff, very fast-paced track. The vocals are distorted, loud, raw, in a mid-range sound. Catchy, fast-paced track. Yeah, really good track. One of their better ones here. You Know I'm No Good. Some melodic, heavy rhythm sounds. Drums are pretty dominant on this track. Vocals are raw, heavy, forward, but not a terribly memorable song. The next one's kind of in the same boat. Some of Us, kind kind of a slow, low kind of guitar and piano part here. Vocals are raw, low, kind of nasally, raspy. Obviously, Keith is doing this song. And a melodic low end track picks up a bit towards the middle of the track and then drops back down again. Again, not a terribly memorable song other than Keith's voice. Next is Covered in You. Nice piano opening, clear but accented vocal sound. Kind of a raw, beefy guitar riff with a nice rhythm section here. I like the harmonica solo towards the back. It really kind of brings the song up a bit. Next is Side Effects, another decent track on the album, about 4.5 minutes, which is kind of a standard length for the songs on here. This one's a slow but beefy guitar sound with a kind of a pickup guitar part. The vocals are mid-range, hoarse. Yeah, I got a little bit of a high range too, I guess. Not a terribly memorable track, but pretty solid as well. I didn't mind it. Back in Your Life, I think this is probably the weakest track on the album. It's kind of a ballad, really low sounding ballad. Some picky guitar parts, clear, raw, mid-range vocals, but nothing special. And I'm not a big fan of ballads, even if the Stones are doing them. It's also the longest track, which makes it a little harder to take. If it was like 3 minutes, I probably would give it a higher mark, but it seems to drag a bit. And the final track, I don't think is all that great either. Beautiful Delilah. It's got a nice heavy acoustic guitar part, though. A raw garage sound, very bluesy. And a little bit of a southern drawl to it as well. Anyways, that's the tracks for the album from the Rolling Stones called Foreign Tongues. This is just recently released, so hopefully you get a chance to listen to it. I liked it. I just think that if I was comparing it to their previous album, Hackney Diamonds, it probably, loses a little bit. I think Hackney Diamonds, I gave like a 3.5, maybe 3.75. This one I would probably give closer to a 3. So it's not that much difference, but not as good in my opinion. Maybe that'll change after I listen to it and get it out of the package and put it on the stereo instead of just listening to it on the computer. Anyways, please hit the like and subscribe. If you got anything to say about the Rolling Stones or about their album Foreign Tongues, you can put those comments in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Next week. Sorry, losing my stutter here a bit. Anyways, see you all next week here on the Prog Monster for What's New. Take care and have yourself a good evening and goodbye.